Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm so glad you are joining me. Today we're going to talk about shyness. Now I don't know if you're like me, but there's been many times in my life where if someone would have asked me, am I bold or shy, I would have told them I'm shy. But I've begun to learn that shyness isn't all of what I think it is. It goes along with the conversation of self-centeredness and pride and even arrogance. So let's talk about it. Let's dive into it. Are you shy? I want to know. Okay, y'all, I'm just gonna keep it 100. I'm gonna have to give you all of me. These are authentic talks, and I gotta keep it real. I gotta keep it authentic. With that being said, it wasn't until a couple of years ago that I stopped considering myself a shy person. All up until then, I would claim to be shy and kind of try to hide in the background and not be up front and not have all eyes on me. I can think about times when I was still growing and developing as a singer, and there would be times where I was put up to do a solo, or I would have to sing a lead song with the gospel choir that I grew up singing with. And y'all, I would throw a fit. I would get an attitude, or I would start to cry, all in attempts to get out of singing or get out of doing whatever that thing was. And most times out of 10, it was singing before people. Now what's so crazy is that, like, I absolutely love to sing, and when I think about my calling, my purpose, my passions, and whatever, and the things that I want to do in life, all of that, it involves singing. So the fact that I was so nervous, so scared, so timid about singing blows my mind. But that's where I got this idea that, oh, I'm shy, and I kind of wore it as a badge of honor, because I felt that because it was so opposite than arrogance and, you know, self-centeredness, that I was like, oh, I'm shy, thinking that it was humility. But my bubble was bursted because I realized shortly on in life that that's a false sense of humility, even claiming shyness. So I'm gonna break that down, but let me let you know how I got to this place of understanding that shyness isn't all Christ-like as we want to think it is. So dealing with the shyness and really wanting to like break out of that and wanting to be bold and fierce and, you know, courageous in everything I did, especially singing, I started to listen to podcasts and watch sermons, and I came across this one preacher, awesome preacher, preaching good, this specific sermon, but he was talking about self-centeredness. Now, I didn't think that self-centeredness was quite my problem, but I listened to it anyway, and he gave this example of self-centeredness being like a spectrum. So a spectrum rod. He said on one end of this self-centeredness spectrum is arrogance, and I'm like, got that, like, know that, wanting people to have all eyes on you or wanting to be the center of attention. Like, yeah, I get arrogance fitting in that spectrum of being self-centered. But then he said on that same opposite end is shyness, and I was taken aback. I was like, how though? Like, how could both shyness and arrogance be on the same spectrum of self-centeredness? And he began to break it down, and I want to add in my little teaching about, well, just think about what shyness is. And shyness defined is basically timidity, or showing nervousness, being reserved in the company of others, or feeling less than or short of. And it kind of hit me then that when you think of arrogance, it's easy to say that that's self-centered because you're thinking about yourself. But it's the same with shyness. You're placing you at the center, and you're removing Jesus from the center. When you're thinking through thoughts such as, I don't want to be seen, or I don't want people to look at me in fear of what they may say, or how they might react, or even wanting to be praised and wanting people to give you the accolades or acknowledge you in some special sort of type of way. You're still focusing on yourself. And true humility is not the dosing down of yourself to appear humble or to appear less than or short of, but it can be quite the opposite. True humility is knowing who you are and what you have to offer, what you have to bring to the table, and demonstrating that, not for your own self-glorification, but to help and inspire and to encourage others. And y'all, after I heard that, I could not consider myself shy anymore, because it started to, I'll say this, shyness, it gave me excuses. Claiming myself as shy gave me excuses not to do and be the person who I believe God has called me to. And you know, it's so funny, because even saying that right now, I didn't even have that revelation until just now when I said it. But it gave me excuses. It gave me reasons why I shouldn't versus reasons why I should. And I think that when you're doing whatever you love to do or what you believe you're called to do, as small as anything, I mean, whether it's speaking in front of people, singing, dancing, displaying your art, or creating that formula that may cure some crazy disease, when you're like being able to put yourself out there in the sense of serving someone else, then I think that that's what true humility is. So for me, I had to get to the point where I stopped allowing shyness to give me excuses for why I couldn't do what I believe I could do and what I wanted to do. And I went from there so that I could, you know, even sit before you right now and even talk. Because this whole shy Brie, yeah, she would not be sitting in front of a camera trying to express her thoughts in her heart to people, not even knowing how many people or who those people are that are watching this. But it comes a time in a day where you just have to say, brick it. Okay, well, not well, actually, yeah, really. And you have to do whatever you need to do, want to do, desire to do, afraid, because at the end of the day, you want it to benefit someone else and help someone else. So I know this was a short video, but I hope that you were encouraged and blessed in some sort of way, to not continue to consider yourself shy, because you don't have to be. You got to know who you are. So, well, guys, thank you for allowing me to just share my heart and share a little bit of my journey with overcoming shyness. And I do pray that something I said touched, moved, and inspired you in a special way. Please comment below if you're struggling with some areas of shyness. I would love to partner with you and pray with you concerning those things. But also, if there's some ways that you overcome, some thinking that changed, or some practices you set in place that help you overcome shyness, please comment below. I would love to hear them. I would love to hear your thoughts concerning the topic of self-centeredness, shyness, and arrogance. Well, guys, if you haven't liked this video, please like it. Please share, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks so much for joining me. Bye.